What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. So it's not much to say. The Clippers really laid an egg in the game against Utah. It was one of the worst opening night games I've seen from a team that's looked at as at least, of course, a playoff team, maybe a championship contender in some people's eyes, maybe not a lot. But they just got a lot to figure out. You let a Utah team like that score 43 points the first quarter, no defensive effort, no resistance at all. Turnovers were just mounting the whole time. The turnovers were just the worst turnovers I think I've seen. Brook Lopez, when he came in the game, he looked really out of sort. He looked like he couldn't even hold the ball. A couple times they passed it to him, and one of the guys on Utah, just swiped the ball out of his hand each time. I think George did it a couple times, and Kessler played great. So did Laurie. That tandem of the two big men really worked out well for the Utah Jazz. And I just felt like the Clippers came in with the wrong mindset. This is game one of the season, opening night. There's no reason why you should come in looking like that. Now, granted, I know the Clippers are an older team, but this is the first night of the season. That was the first night of the season. So you were rested enough to at least come into the opening night and play at a much higher level than that. They were passing up threes. They were trying to be a little passive at times, not trying to take the open shots. And for one thing, the biggest glaring issue, I don't know what Ty Lue is thinking in regards to how he's going to run this offense, because there's no reason why at any point Kawhi Leonard should only take 9 shots in an NBA game. There's no excuse for it. The only reason the only way Kawhi should take 9 shots in an NBA game is if he took those shots by halftime or first quarter and got hurt and couldn't return to the game. That's the only reason why that should happen. Your best player took less shots than Zubac, James Harden, and a few others. And to me, honestly, as great as Kawhi Leonard is as a weapon offensively, you got to find ways to get him going. He should be the primary reason or the primary position that you look to in the game to start the game to get everybody going. He is your best player. And this is the reason why I said, the Clippers can be a championship team. They could win the 2 seed. They still can do all those things, because it's too early in the season to sit there and say what a team can and can't be off of one game. But this one game right here, it really looked really horrible for the Clippers. It looked horrible for them. The Utah Jazz, don't get me wrong, they're a young team. They're fighting. They will give you a run. They will definitely, be a pest to you because they're so young and they got a lot of young talent. And, Lauri Markkanen is a good player, I would say. And him and Kessler fit very well together from what I see. But there's no reason for the Clippers to look like that. No reason for them to look like that. That's probably the worst opening night I've seen from a team that has championship aspirations. It looked very, very bad. It looked very bad. They looked not concise. They looked like they didn't have any direction. They looked like they didn't have any anything. They looked like they didn't have any spirit. And you can't come into an opening night season like that. I don't know if the accusations and the dark cloud around the Clippers have really, scorned them. I really don't. I don't think I've ever seen the Clippers look like that. Any season that Kawhi Leonard has came into, the Clippers have opened up a season. They've never looked like that. That's dating back with Paul George, Kawhi, Marcus Morris. It don't even matter. Like even the Kawhi era, they've never came into an opening night looking like that. And it just looked like guys was not interested. Zubac missing assignments. I remember one play where Kawhi, I think, it was either Kessler or Lauri Markkanen, which Lauri Markkanen came out like just on fire. Seemed like he came out just ready to play, and Kawhi just looked like he just was not interested in playing defense at all. He didn't even I feel like Kawhi didn't even try that much on defense, at all against him. But it was one play where I think Lauri Markkanen was on a fast break or coming down the break, and Kawhi points and say, "Hey, pick up man that's going to the basket." And Zubac basically looks the other way. Zubac he's not even aware or not trying to be aware of what's coming in the paint when you're a part of the defensive anchor that's in the paint, when you're supposed to be the defensive anchor in the paint for anybody that enters. And that play right there, it was in the first quarter. That play right there dictated and said a lot about what the Clippers need to work on. They need to work on awareness. They need to work on, overall spacing in their defense. They need to just work on defense in general, if I'm being honest. Damn all the technicality words. They just need to work on defense and work on themselves and go out there and play with some effort. Because that was... No, I don't think nobody saw that coming. I mean, first of all, I don't think nobody saw them losing to Utah, but damn sure not losing to Utah in that fashion. You lose to Utah on a game-winning shot, that's bad. Or they win by 5 points, because you ran out of gas. Look like that's not good either. But at least that's more explainable and more understandable, because you could have said if they lost by 5 points in the last few minutes of the game, it looked like they ran out of gas. You could just say, oh man, the Clippers look old. The Clippers need to get a little bit more youth in there, or maybe spice up a little bit with more of their young talent with their older talent so they can maintain energy or something like that. But not only they looked old, they looked like they shouldn't even been on the floor with the Utah Jazz last night. They look like they shouldn't, or the other night. They look like they shouldn't even been on the floor with them. And that's not what you want to, that's not the type of, inspiration you want to come into a new season with, especially with all the talent the Clippers have, even though they're older, but still. That's the worst. That's the worst, ever. And I'm just saying, if the Clippers are going to get better, it's going to have to start with Ty Lue, because it comes down to coaching. What I told you guys before, Ty Lue is one of the biggest issues the Clippers have had. Even though it may not look like it, you can always point to injuries. But even when they were not injured, even when they played together, when Kawhi was there, look at all the times where, Kawhi would have to dig them out of holes. Remember those? I know you guys remember the Dallas Mavericks series, a few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, when they played them in the bubble. And even after that, it took Kawhi a Herculean effort to get him out the first round. They were down 3-2 or 2-0 in the series against Dallas one year with Luka Doncic. And, Kawhi pulls out a heroic effort to put them back in the series and help them ultimately win it. And it shouldn't have to take all that type energy to get out of the first round when you're clearly the better team. And that's the point I'm trying to make. When you look at the coaching of Ty Lue, you can't trust it. There's no way in hell these guys shouldn't be ready to come out opening night against a Utah team that they're supposed to beat, for one. That was probably going to give them a run. Utah was going to give them a run. I didn't think the game would be a blowout on either side. But, you're still supposed to find a way to pull a game like that out and win it with all the talent you have. And you still got Kawhi Leonard. In the preseason, he was dropping 15, 16, 17 points with limited minutes. And then you come into an actual season opener game, and he only takes 9 shots. There's no way in hell I can say it's all on the players. That is 75, 80% of coaching, 20% of the players to me. because the coaches have to get these guys ready to go in the right position, in the right mindset, and push them in the right direction so they can play to, their talent level. And it's horrible. That was horrible. That, like I said, that's one of the worst preseason, if not the worst preseason, season opener game I think I've ever seen. I'm telling you, the Clippers, they better get rid of Ty Lue. Ty Lue just isn't a fit for this team, and I think that he doesn't coach this team well. Hell, I don't even think he coached the Cleveland Cavaliers well back in the day. They did great because they was in the Eastern Conference with LeBron James, a younger LeBron James and a younger Kyrie Irving. That's the only reason why. Other than that, they were horrible. Well, not them, not the Cleveland Cavaliers horrible. I guess I'm going back to the Clippers. I do apologize because it's so frustrating talking about this. But the Clippers were horrible. I don't know. They got a lot of soul searching to do, a lot to figure out. Because, from what I saw the other night, what I saw against Utah, it's hard for me to say this team is even a play-in tournament team after looking at that game. And I don't want to overreact over one game, but if we're going by what the one game presented us, there's no way we could look at this team as a championship team, at least not right now. So they got a long way to go, a lot to figure out. If you're losing to teams like Utah, well, a lot of the other part of the West is way harder, way more challenging than the Utah Jazz. That's supposed to be a victory all day. And they look shitty from both ends of the floor. I'm talking offense, defense. They look like a newly put together high school team, I don't know, with a bunch of nerds on it. No disrespect, but that's what they look like. Guys look like out of place. They look like they didn't know what they were doing. They look like they wasn't concise. They look like they didn't know what defense was or what it means. And it looks like offense was just something they never even practiced. So, if they're going to be better, well, damn it, they're going to have to be a whole lot better than that, because that was the worst I think I've seen, and I think a lot of people would agree with me. But, hey, leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Until next time.